His ex-girlfriend urges
exactly.
Americans to trust her judgment.
It's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her.
Whatever happened at the club had nothing to do with him. And when he went outside and he was whisked into a car, in the back of the car with Miss Lopez, the gun was found in the front where 2 other people were.
It was almost like I was meant to meet him while I was making my first album, because he helped me a lot. He was kind of like a mentor in a way, not a mentor, but like guided.
I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them.
In a shocking turn, Joe Rogan and Elon Musk recently took aim at Jennifer Lopez on Rogan's podcast, accusing her of being a puppet to Sean Diddy Combs.
And it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm
Is
like,
he the
well, wait a
Babylon
second.
Bee?
So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
But why did they single out J-Lo? And what dark secrets do they believe she's hiding about the music industry's hidden underbelly?
And what videos do they have of these people where they're willing to defend him, and they're willing to keep quiet about all this? Like how many people were compromised?
During an election eve chat, Elon Musk didn't hold back, pointing fingers at Diddy's ex, Jennifer Lopez, saying she had the power to warn the public about Diddy's alleged crimes, but chose silence instead. But how deep does this silence go? Is J-Lo covering up more than just old secrets?
And it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm
Is he
like,
the
well, wait a
Babylon
second.
Bee?
So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
Rogan hinted at the connections between Diddy's guest lists and Hollywood's elite, now backing figures like Kamala Harris. As Musk added, it's not just about knowing, it's about who is covering for whom. Could Jennifer Lopez be involved in covering up serious crimes? On a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, billionaire tech mogul Elon Musk and podcast legend Joe Rogan dove into a discussion that had jaws dropping. It wasn't about technology or space exploration this time. Instead, the conversation took a sharp turn toward the world of Hollywood, secrecy, and some dark truths about the music industry. And at the heart of it all, Jennifer Lopez. Joe Rogan and Elon Musk didn't just stop at her. They went deep into a list of high-profile celebrities, sparking questions about what some of the biggest stars in Hollywood really knew about Diddy's controversial and alleged criminal activities.
This whole thing is disgusting and terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people are just turning a blind eye to it.
So why did Jennifer Lopez stay silent? Was she knowingly protecting one of the most influential and now most scrutinized figures in the music industry? As Musk dropped bombshell after bombshell, fans were left with an uneasy sense that there's much more to uncover about Diddy's role behind the scenes. But Lopez isn't the only name connected to Diddy. From wild parties to deep political affiliations, Musk and Rogan's conversation left us all questioning. Just how many Hollywood icons are tied up in this web of influence and power? And what do they know? The Joe Rogan Experience is no stranger to hard-hitting conversations, but this episode went into uncharted territory. On November 4th, as millions tuned in, Musk and Rogan veered away from their usual tech talk, aiming their sights on none other than Jennifer Lopez and her ties to Sean Diddy Combs. Musk was especially blunt, calling out Lopez for failing to speak up about Diddy's alleged crimes.
And it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm
Is he
like,
the
well, wait a
Babylon
second.
Bee?
So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
Musk's comments didn't come out of thin air. Diddy's name has been tied to more than just music, disturbing allegations about parties, influential connections, and now even crimes. With charges like STF-ficking and racketeering looming over Diddy, Musk's statements about Lopez staying silent hit especially hard. But why would Jennifer, an icon in her own right, say nothing? Was it fear, loyalty, or something deeper? While Musk and Rogan's comments may have sounded bold, the claims surrounding Diddy aren't exactly new. For years, rumors swirled about his notorious parties, gatherings that drew in the who's who of Hollywood. But behind closed doors, these parties held secrets that would shock the public.
What videos do they have of these people where they're willing to defend him, and they're willing to keep quiet about all this? Like how many people were compromised?
It's these words that now ring louder than ever. Were Hollywood's elite, including stars like Lopez, truly in the dark? Or did they choose to ignore the warning signs? Jennifer Lopez has always been a major figure in the music world. Her Her relationship with Diddy in the late 90s made headlines, and although they eventually went their separate ways, they remained intertwined in the industry. Now, as more details about Diddy's alleged actions surface, questions about Lopez's role in it all are unavoidable. And specifically, what the authorities really want to know is what went down during the infamous 1999 shooting. On December 27, 1999, Diddy and Jennifer Lopez arrived at Manhattan's famous club New York in a limousine just 2 days after Christmas. Located on 45th Street in Times Square, the club was packed with people outside in fur coats, luxury cars like Benzes, and a mix of the wealthiest and most notable figures, ball players, gangsters, rappers, all in one spot. Diddy and J-Lo arrived with a small crew, including his chauffeur Wardell Fenderson, his bodyguard Anthony Wolf Jones, and his newest Bad Boy Records rapper, Shine. As they entered the club, they immediately stood out. J-Lo, accompanied by her security guard, walked to the bathroom, and there was an excited buzz.
All I know is I saw when he swung and slapped and money was raining through the sky and falling to the floor. Everybody started trying to run and pick up money, and it was just crazy.
When Diddy and his crew tried to leave the club, they navigated through the crowded space. As they walked past the bar, they bumped into another group led by a man named Matthew Allen, who went by the street name Scar. The clash was minor but sparked a significant confrontation. Whoever accidentally bumped into Scar caused him to spill his drink, leading his friend Marcus to turn around angrily and push the first person he saw, who happened to be Diddy. Diddy reportedly responded, "Do you know who I am?" And Marcus replied, "Yeah, MF, we got money too."
All I know is I saw when he swung and slapped and money was raining through the sky and falling to the floor. Everybody started trying to run and pick up money, and it was just crazy.
Marcus then took a wad of cash and threw it in Diddy's face, with 50s and hundreds raining down, causing the whole bar to erupt as people scrambled to grab the money. The situation escalated as shots rang out in the club. While there are conflicting reports on what happened next, it's clear that several shots were fired. Lopez and Diddy fled the club after the shooting in a Lincoln Navigator. Diddy's driver, Wardell Fenderson, later said that he blew past several red lights as they careened down 43rd Street and onto 8th Avenue, weaving past 2 police cars. "Shine busted off! Shine busted off in the air!" Fenderson quoted Lopez as saying, before cops pulled them over. Former NYPD Derek Parker told the Post how in the precinct, her mother was yelling at J-Lo in Spanish, and she was really mad at Jennifer. "I heard her say, 'I told you not to get involved with him.'"
The night of the shooting, that was kind of the beginning of the end of their relationship, because it then became dangerous for her career to be involved with him.
Lopez was released from custody without being charged after 14 hours in jail. Natanya Rubin, who was one of the 3 victims in the club shooting, has long insisted that Combs shot her in the face.
I literally watched them pull out the guns. I've had a clear point of view. I mean, for God's sake, I got shot in my nose. I was facing them directly. I watched everything.
Natanya Rubin, who was hit by a bullet at Club New York when the fight broke out between Diddy's entourage and a thug named Scar, claims that it was Diddy who shot her in the face. He denies it. During the chase, a bystander claimed to have seen someone toss a gun out of the passenger side window. The witness described seeing a light-skinned, slender arm throw a gun out, speculated to be Jennifer Lopez's, due to the witness's description. When police finally stopped the Navigator, they discovered another firearm with 3 spent cases in the front seat. Nobody claimed ownership of the gun, so all 4 occupants, J-Lo, Diddy, the chauffeur, and the bodyguard, were arrested and taken to the Midtown North Precinct. They later found that the weapon had been reported stolen in Georgia, and none of the car's occupants had a license for it. Back at the nightclub, Shine was also taken into custody, as he was found in possession of a firearm with 3 spent cases. Scar and his crew had already fled the scene, and they faced no immediate consequences. While in the holding cell, Diddy allegedly tried to bribe his driver, Wardell Fenderson, saying, "I'm Puff Daddy, I can't take this gun rap, I'll give you $50,000. According to Fenderson, Jones chimed in, "Listen, dog, you don't have a record. You'll get probation. We can't let Puffy take the gun." Diddy even offered his diamond pinky ring, a gift from J-Lo, as collateral for the promised $50,000. Fenderson initially agreed to claim the gun was his, but he later retracted his statement. Police later intercepted a phone call that appeared to be another bribery attempt by Diddy. He was reportedly heard saying,
However, crimes at this scale are typically not a one-man operation, so the feds start to question who could have been involved in, assisting with.
Soon after, everyone involved posted bail, and the media went into a frenzy. Diddy quickly lawyered up, hiring a top legal team, including Johnny Cochran and Benjamin Braffman, who held a press conference to assert his innocence. Diddy stated, "On Sunday evening, I went to Club New York, and under no circumstances whatsoever did I have anything to do with a shooting." His lawyers took questions, claiming whatever happened at the club had nothing to do with him. When he went outside and got into a car with Miss Lopez, the gun was found in the front seat where two other people were sitting. If you or I got into a car and a gun was found in the front, all charges would be dropped. But because Mr. Combs is famous, people assume guilt. However, Diddy's legal team's argument didn't fully address why his car sped away for 11 blocks, evading police, a period that could have allowed someone to move the gun from the back seat to the front. Meanwhile, media attention shifted to Jennifer Lopez. Diddy's involvement in a shooting wasn't shocking, but JLo's connection to the incident fueled public interest. Headlines like her high-risk romance and a night in hell dominated newsstands. At the 2000 Grammy Awards, less than 2 months after the shooting, JLo wore a green, revealing dress, which shifted media focus away from the scandal and onto her fashion statement. This dress incidentally led to the creation of Google Images, as it became the most searched photo at the time, prompting Google to create an image search function. As the trial approached, David Letterman interviewed JLo, asking her about the nightclub shooting. JLo made it clear she wasn't interested in discussing the incident, saying, "I don't think I need to tell people, but yes, there's trouble, and no, I can't talk about it." Jury selection for the nightclub shooting trial began on January 17, 2001, with opening arguments on January 29th. Reports from sources like the New York Post claimed JLo testified in front of 23 grand jurors in Manhattan's Supreme Court, saying, "I danced with him. I had my arms around him. No gun." Other sources claimed she had offered to testify, but ultimately didn't. Shine and Diddy, who were initially tried together, ended up with separate attorneys. Diddy had a high-powered defense team, while Shine, only 20 and lacking resources, had appointed lawyers who had previously represented Diddy. This raised questions, as Diddy and Shine were essentially defending themselves against the same charges, and Shine was signed to Diddy's label. Diddy's defense was simple. He denied everything. He claimed he had no gun, was not involved in an altercation, did not get slapped with money, and did not attempt to hide a gun. However, detectives who interviewed over 350 witnesses mostly agreed that Diddy and Shine fired weapons that night. Other eyewitnesses claimed Diddy and Shine both fired shots. Additionally, the club had metal detectors that all patrons had to pass through, making it difficult for weapons to enter undetected. However, years later, Lil Rod's lawsuit claims that Diddy openly bragged about committing the shooting and bribing witnesses and jurors to secure his acquittal. Mr. Combs shared that he was responsible for the shooting in the nightclub in New York, Jones alleged. He also alleges that Diddy bragged about using Lopez to smuggle the gun into the club. He shared that artist and Mr. Combs' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, carried the gun into the club for him and passed him the gun after he got into an altercation with another individual, Jones alleged. Anyway, as the trial unfolded, more evidence and testimonies complicated the defense's narrative, leading to increased public interest and intense scrutiny. Now, given Diddy's current predicament, it looks like Lopez may get a call from Combs' lawyers. An expert told In Touch Weekly that Lopez may possess first-hand knowledge due to the New York City nightclub shooting that she and Combs were a part of in 1999. Jennifer Lopez's presence the night of the shooting incident and then departing in the same vehicle as Combs makes her a witness with first-hand knowledge and could subject her to being subpoenaed to testify under oath, New York lawyer Pete Gleason said. If there are any criminal charges or civil claims not outside the statute of limitations, this would likely prove problematic for Lopez. Lopez spoke about past abusive relationships in her 2024 documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told. It is unclear which ex she was referring to. There were people in my life who said, "I love you," and then didn't do things that were kind of in line with the word love. Being thrown around and manhandled like that is not fun, Lopez shared in the Amazon Prime doc, which hit the streaming platform in February 2024. She added, I mean, I was never in a relationship where I got beat up, thank God, but I've definitely been manhandled and a couple of other unsavory things. Rough, disrespectful. Meanwhile, during a recent interview with Channel 5 Belize, Shine, the rapper-turned-politician, took some time to address the infamous shooting involving the Bad Boy Records boss. It opens wounds when you hear, the victim saying that, it was Diddy that shot her, Shine told Channel 5, and that was triggered by a lawsuit from a producer, Lil Rod, that produced on the Love album who is making accusations, and in those accusations, he says that the gentleman confessed to the shooting. Shine, now the leader of Belize's United Democratic Party, says he's moved on from his conviction and deportation, but is relieved that more people are finally speaking the truth. He shared that everyone knew he was the fall guy for the NYC shooting years ago. Despite being painted as a criminal by his political enemies, Shine insists he was just a young person who took the blame while maintaining his innocence. He explained that while he never went into specifics, the victim has now spoken out about who was responsible. Though there was no forensic testing, witnesses and the victim are clearing his name. Shine has moved on and appreciates any help Diddy has given to Belize. He wishes Diddy well and hopes justice is served, whatever the truth may be. In a 2022 interview on Drink Champs, Shine reflected on his past with Diddy, saying he no longer blames him as much as he once did. He believes Diddy's lawyers were more responsible for the outcome, as they were focused on securing a not guilty verdict for Diddy. Over time, Shine forgave him, recognizing the pressures they were both under at the time.
But in retrospect, I blame it more on the lawyers that were advising him
to separate the case
than him. Because his lawyers were there, to secure a not guilty verdict by any means.
In any case, the accusations against Diddy have become more serious. And while J-Lo has never been directly implicated, her close association with Diddy during that time has raised questions. Could it be that Ben confronted J-Lo about her past, leading to their separation? In fact, according to one blind item, J-Lo was actually Diddy's weapon carrier. The blind item states, everyone knew she was lying when she testified back then. The part that is going to come back and bite her is that she actually carried the gun into the club for Diddy because they didn't check the women's bags like they pat down the men at the club. The woman who was shot in the face says she clearly saw J-Lo reach into her bag and hand the gun to Diddy for him to use. That is some major ish. Concealed carry of what is mostly like an unregistered, unlicensed gun that was used in shooting. At any rate, Lopez's career has continued to soar, but whispers of her past with Diddy and their alleged crimes have never fully disappeared. Many questioned if she had gone along with the cover-up, knowing it would protect her image. After all, Jennifer was on the brink of becoming a superstar, and a criminal scandal could have ended her career before it even took off. Was Lopez complicit because she wanted fame that badly? Friends and insiders claim that her ambition was unmatched, and she had a do-whatever-it-takes attitude. So, when Diddy found himself in trouble, it wasn't too surprising that Lopez might have lent him a helping hand, even if it meant skirting the law. But is this rumor grounded in truth, or is it just another tabloid scandal? You see, when Jennifer and Diddy got together in the late 90s, she was getting ready to release her very first album, On the Six, in 1999. Now, J-Lo was already well known, but music was a different ballgame. She was 30 years old, which in pop star years can be considered late to start a singing career, so she knew she needed all the help she could get to break into music successfully. Before this, J-Lo had already built a reputation as an incredible dancer. She'd been working her way up in the entertainment world for a while. She danced on Yo! MTV Raps with MC Hammer and landed a job as a backup dancer for New Kids on the Block at the 1991 American Music Awards. But her big moment came when she became a part of the Fly Girls, a dance group on the popular comedy show In Living Color. The show was a huge deal in the 90s, and being one of the Fly Girls put J-Lo on the map. But she didn't want to be just a dancer. She wanted to be a superstar, and she had her eyes set on bigger things. J-Lo wasn't messing around. She got herself a manager, Eric Gold, who helped her move from dancing into acting. She started landing roles in TV shows like South Central, a comedy drama that aired in 1994, and eventually found herself in shows like Second Chances and Hotel Malibu. Soon enough, she transitioned to movies with roles in Mi Familia, Money Train, and Jack. where she got to act alongside Robin Williams. But her real breakout role was playing the late singer Selena Quintanilla Perez in the biopic Selena.
I'm not gonna stop seeing him dead.
I'm not gonna have this in my family.
This role was huge for Jennifer. Not only did it make her the first Latina actress to earn a $1 million paycheck for a movie, but it also got her a Golden Globe nomination. She was officially a Hollywood star. But even with all this success, J.Lo wanted to be more than an actress. She wanted to sing. She recorded a Spanish-language demo, hoping to tap into her Latin roots and make it in music. This demo set off a bidding war among record labels, and eventually, Sony Music Group signed her. Signing with Sony was a big deal. They outbid other labels like Capitol Records and EMI Latin, showing they were serious about making J.Lo a star. With Sony on her side, she was ready to step into the music world. Sony didn't waste any time promoting J.Lo. They launched a massive campaign to hype her up as the next big thing. Around this time, she made an appearance in Diddy's music video for Been Around the World in 1997. At that point, Diddy was one of the most influential people in the music industry. In any case, the accusations against Diddy have become more serious. And while J.Lo has never been directly implicated, her close association with Diddy during that time has raised questions. Could it be that Ben confronted J.Lo about her past, leading to their separation? In fact, according to one, dating Diddy was like winning a golden ticket to the top of the music world. J.Lo's connection to him opened doors that might have been tough to get through otherwise, especially since Diddy's label was part of Epic Records, which was owned by Sony, the very same label that signed J.Lo. It all seemed pretty convenient. Diddy was known for mentoring new artists and helping them make it big. He'd launched the careers of stars like Mary J. Blige, Usher, and later Justin Bieber. Having his support was a big deal, and it seemed to fast-track J.Lo's entry into the music scene. Looking back, when J.Lo talks about her time with Diddy, it sounds almost like she's describing a business relationship more than a romantic one. She talks about the things she learned and how much he helped her career, but not so much about the personal side of their relationship. It's almost like he was more of a manager than a boyfriend. In fact, being seen with him and having his support may have been just what she needed to establish herself as a pop star, making people wonder if their relationship was more about advancing her career than love. Once her debut album On the 6 came out, J.Lo quickly became a pop sensation. Her songs were topping the charts, her music videos were everywhere, and she was proving that she could be both an actress and a successful musician. Her relationship with Diddy gave her the credibility she needed in the music industry, and she used that momentum to push forward. Over time, people started to notice a pattern with J.Lo's relationships. Some began to question if she was strategically dating men who could help her career. After Diddy, she went on to date and eventually marry other powerful men, each time leveling up her status. And while this could just be coincidence, her rise in Hollywood has always seemed to line up with her high-profile relationships. Her journey raises some interesting questions. Did J.Lo really date Diddy for love? Or was it a strategic move to help launch her music career? Did she see the value in aligning herself with someone as influential as Diddy at a time when she was trying to establish herself as a singer?
He was great. It was almost like I was meant to meet him while I was making my first album. Because he helped me a lot. He was kind of like a mentor in a way, not a mentor, but like guided me.
While only J.Lo truly knows her motives, her career skyrocketed during her time with Diddy. It's hard to deny that his influence had a major impact on her music career. In any case, J.Lo's alleged role in covering up Diddy's activities didn't end with the 1999 shooting. Rumors suggest that she knew far more about his dealings than anyone suspected. Reports hint that Lopez may have been aware of Diddy's ties to the criminal underworld, his rivalries, and his ruthless climb to the top. If true, it would mean Lopez kept secrets that could have toppled not only her career, but also Diddy's entire empire. From shady deals to possible involvement in illegal activities, the whispers around Diddy's dark connections have always lingered. And with Lopez by his side during some of his most scandalous moments, it's no wonder people are questioning how much she really knew. But why would Lopez stay silent? Was it fear, loyalty, or simply self-preservation? Some suggest that knowing Diddy's power in the industry, Lopez might have believed that exposing him would ruin her career. And so, she allegedly turned a blind eye, covering up his crimes to secure her place in the spotlight. So, where does this leave us? Jennifer Lopez's career has spanned decades, with fame, glamour, and success following her every step. But the questions surrounding her past with Diddy refuse to fade. Did she carry the weapon that night? Did she knowingly protect Diddy's crimes? We may never get a clear answer, but one thing is for sure. This story is far from over. And as more information surfaces, the world will be watching closely to see if the truth finally comes to light. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.